So the research continues to roll in and pile up. Grandparents can be a positive force in a child's life, but where exactly are they needed? KSL parenting contributor Heather Johnson has a short list. She's here to share the 4 things grandchildren need the very most from Nana and Papa. Great to see you.
too.
So the research, I mean, too vast and too extensive to even summarize here, but can you give us a snapshot of the role? Why is that grandparenting relationship so significant?
Well, it's so unique, right? It's bi-directional. It's really the only relationship that works that way. As grandparents give to grandkids, they benefit. As grandkids give back to grandparents, they benefit. I mean, there's so much here. Grandparents live longer when they have these relationships with their grandkids. Both grandparents and grandchildren have less depression and less anxiety when they have these strong relationships, emotionally, socially, spiritually. You name it. Only good things come when these relationships are healthy. We should also, kind of nod a little bit here that this is a relationship that's under attack right now. As we're seeing a lot more of the estrangement, as we're seeing the struggles between adult kids and their parents, this is usually the relationship that's used a little bit as a weapon. And so it would be worth taking a step back and going, okay, there are so many good things. The benefits are so big. What can we do to make sure these relationships are being cultivated, that they can happen? Because as parents in that middle generation, we're the gatekeepers to this really cool relationship. And it is so important, it's so powerful.
You say there are 4 areas where the power is on full display, things that grandchildren really need from their grandma and grandpa. First, unconditional love.
Absolutely. So this is something that grandparents can give that sometimes parents have a hard time giving. Right? We don't think we do. We're like, well, no, I love our kids unconditionally, except that unconditional love means we love them as is, with no expectations and no strings attached. We don't need them to change or do anything different. Grandparents can offer that. They can give a love that has no strings attached. Simply because a grandchild breathes air and exists, they're loved by a grandparent.
So it's what, more natural to grandparents?
It's even without, again, it's not if your room is clean, so I'll be kind to you or patient with you because you got good grades or because your room is clean or because you obeyed and respected me today.
Yes.
Grandparents love just because they love.
You always win with me.
Always, always. And it's a beautiful thing. They also, with that unconditional love, need emotional support. Now, this is just the best because, again, parents can sometimes have a hard time doing this. Sometimes it's because their life feels really overwhelmed, because they've got so much going on, because they might not be in tune in that moment. Grandparents can be so in tune to give emotional support without judgment. They don't need anything in return, they just simply love. This one for me, I can remember sitting across the counter from my grandma when I was in college, and she'd be making me a grilled cheese and tomato soup, and she'd ask questions, and as I'd answer, there was never any advice. It wasn't do it this way. She didn't care what grade I got in college, and we were talking about classes. She just simply said, tell me more. Just tell me more. They have an ability to be empathetic, and kids need that. And sometimes it's hard for parents to give that. Grandparents, they can be empathetic all day.
You and I, when we talk about grandparents, we have to hold ourselves together because we both were so lucky to have great relationships. But I find myself thinking, too, as I reflect on that relationship, that golden relationship, it's almost like a better extension of your parents. And nothing against your parents.
No.
But there's this, you feel the safety that you feel with your parents when the relationship is right, but it's this enhanced opportunity.
Everything's elevated, right? Everything's on a bigger, grander scale. And it's so safe there. I love that word, that it's just so safe with them.
On your list is frequent, meaningful contact. And I want to give pause to the word frequent. Like, we should be dripping in and dropping in.
Every week, at least once. At least once a week, reach out to your grandchildren, each of them. If you need to learn technology so you can reach them where they're at, which is usually on phones, then learn technology to reach them there. But once a week at least. This means reaching out that do they have a dance this weekend? Send them a quick text that says, I hope you have a great night, and then ask them for a photo when the dance is over. Do you know that they have a math test coming up? It's those types of things. Because remember, parents are saying you have a math test and then often saying, well, have you studied? Are you going to get a good grade? How are you doing? Grandparents can just say, was it fun? Tell me all about it. Tell me more.
But it's knowing them, and that takes frequent contact. I remember one time Ann Romney shared that she knows every one of her kids' friends by name. And I thought that is an engaged grandma, right? Someone that is in the weeds and in the details. Storytelling is a big part of a grandparent's role. And also there is this line that we want to acknowledge, and it reflects kind of the struggle that you mentioned earlier, the relationship dynamic. as brittle as it is, that grandparents do need to support and respect the parents' decisions.
They do, and that's in a lot of ways. It's first recognizing that as grandparents, it's your job to cultivate these relationships. Consider yourself the adult in this situation as the oldest generation. So we need to do what we can as grandparents to make sure that we have good relationships with our kids and with our grandkids. If our kids say no sugar while you're babysitting grandkids, don't give them sugar.
We're not going to sneak a dum-dum.
No, even if you make the very best cookies ever, still, you're not going to do that. If they say, could you have them in bed at 8? Have them in bed at 8. It also is cool because as grandparents, we can help bridge the gap when there is uncomfortable relationships between parents and kids. We can help provide the perspectives to our grandkids of how their parents might be thinking or feeling. We can help there too. We connect generations, and it is so great if we'll give that love and emotional support, support those parents, and if we'll make sure that we're there to connect all the time.
I think it's a reason to roll up our sleeves and really make it work on both ends. Heather, thank you so much.